Uncommon Student Presentations. It is my pleasure to introduce Luke Wittrock. Luke resides in Urbandale and attends Valley High School. The title of his project is Central Iowa Youth Business Incubator.
At the Beaverdale Farmers Market, a cowbell is rung to signal the market's start and end. In between, though, it's rung at seemingly random intervals. Although the market runs from 4 to 7, oftentimes this summer I would hear the cowbell ring at times like 6:42 and 5:08. Now, I didn't just hang out at the Beaverdale Farmers Market for hours this summer just to hear the cowbell ring. Instead, I was leading the Central Iowa Youth Business Incubator, or CIYBI. Since grade 6, I've amassed a list of over 45 businesses I hope to start someday. Some, like selling mini personal airplanes so we can all fly around from place to place, aren't too realistic, but none have brought me more excitement than CIYBI. Herbert Hoover was a stunning entrepreneur. At Stanford, he founded a student laundry service, and then as a mining engineer, he became wealthy as a founder of numerous enterprises and independent consultant. But CIYBI isn't your normal business done to make a profit. In fact, it doesn't make a profit at all, and I normally don't even sell anything. Finding youth entrepreneurs often lack the skills, education, and experience necessary to start their own businesses. I founded CIYBI, an Iowa LLC, in June 2023 as a platform for aspiring high school entrepreneurs to gain the education, funds, and experience to begin independent businesses. There are 3 phases to the program. First, participants attend a series of spring educational meetings. Then, they're given a chance to sell their products at farmers markets over the summer. Finally, they take the funds and education they've gained to start independent businesses during the fall. The inaugural program worked like this. In December, I sent out messages to over 100 teachers, staff, and administrators involved with art, FCS, honors, and business classes at 14 schools in the Des Moines area, asking them to promote the program to their students. I created an informational flyer, social media pages, and website to promote the program, share the opportunity with students, and share it with the community as a whole. Then, in February, I invited interested participants and guardians to an informational meeting at the Urbandale Library. Participants who chose to continue with the program completed an additional application and then attended 3 spring educational meetings. At the first educational meeting, I invited the Iowa Secretary of State, Paul Pate, to speak on his entrepreneurial journey. He founded his business, Pate Asphalt, at a mere 14 years old. He talked about how some of the most important businesses sell products we use every day and don't even think about. He also talked about the importance of making a business plan and networking. So after the meeting, I guided participants through making their own business plans. At the second meeting, I arranged for a student at Iowa State University, Bennett Dirks, to speak on vital sales and marketing strategies. Bennett shared with the entrepreneurs the importance of connecting with customers on a personal level, so they keep coming back. Afterwards, I guided participants through creating a website and social media pages so they can promote their business. Over the summer, participants then had the chance to sell at 2 farmers markets in the Des Moines area, 6 times a piece on average per participant, from a total of 12 sale dates. These markets were the Valley Junction and Beaverdale farmers markets. Before the market began, I would set up the stand, set up the tent, bring drinks for the participants and give them advice on what they should prepare for the week. Then, as the market went along, I collected the income, recorded sales tax, and ran the credit card machine. Participants sold a number of products. One participant sold native plants to the state of Iowa. Another participant had painted homemade pots and sold those. We had a few participants who really just loved baking and hoped to start bakeries someday. So they sold cookies, brownies, hand pies, and more. One participant sold her homemade jewelry, and yet another sold crochet items. It was a learning process for both the participants and for me. After each third of the sale dates, I provided participants with personalized advice on how they might improve sales in the future by baking slightly different products or changing prices, standing up when customers approach. Then I also completed sale date payouts after the first 6 sale dates and the end of the total sales. The results were remarkable. Clear, consistent growth could be seen throughout the program. Even Elvis came to check out the stand on the final day. For the payouts, each participant received 60% of their own income, plus 20% of total sales combined, weighted by the amount of hours they spent at the farmer's market. And then the remaining 20% went to cover CIYBI's overhead costs, such as liability insurance, the stand costs, and sales tax this year. In September, I then held a final educational meeting for the participants. I started by reviewing the spring educational meetings and covered the lessons that were learned throughout the summer, commenting on the growth I saw them make as they became stronger entrepreneurs. Then, I held our commencement ceremony, in which I made an ardent commencement speech, I hope, and presented each participant with their unique certificates of achievement for their completion of the program. I do believe the state of Iowa is now home to at least 12 new youth-run businesses. I guided each participant through creating their unique LLCs and said that they are no longer the entrepreneurs of tomorrow, but they were the entrepreneurs of today. Moving forward, the Central Iowa Youth Business Incubator will continue to assist youth entrepreneurs for years to come. This upcoming spring, a participant from the 2024 program, Tessa, will join me in leading the 2025 program throughout the first half of the summer and into throughout the first half of the summer. And then I will take a more administrative role as she coordinates the program. This 2025 coordinator will then lead 2025 participants into 2026 leadership positions, so on and so forth, indefinitely. Herbert Hoover was known for being metacognitive. He thought intensely about his successes and failures in business along with the presidency, taking the lessons he learned to improve in the future. CIYBI will not look the same in the future as it does now. From this year's program, I have learned significant lessons and will impose future changes. One major struggle came with participant dependability. High schoolers are not the most responsible group in society. Sometimes I would have to fill a spot at the farmer's market by baking Rice Krispie treats to give to the children at the market. Much like Herbert Hoover fed the starving children of Belgium. In all seriousness, though, to ensure participants fully commit to the program, I plan to require a minimum attendance level for graduation, and also add 1 or 2 scholarships in the range of $200 to $500, based half on participant attendance at the programs, and half on an anonymous essay reflecting on what they have learned throughout the program. Additionally, CIYBI barely made back its annual cost this year. So to ensure CIYBI is sustainable in the long run, participants selling products requiring the payment of sales tax will have sales tax deducted from their payout. I additionally intend to ask for corporate sponsorships to help defray the business incubator's annual fees. Ultimately, as the program continues, and I guide other participants I guide new program coordinators. As Lou Henry Hoover said in her speech, "The independent girl," we will unite forces, and with combined strength, go forward to meet the world. I see CIYBI continuing for a significant period of time. Like Herbert Hoover founded the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, which helped save numerous businesses during the Great Depression, but more importantly, laid the groundwork for many of Roosevelt's New Deal policies. I see the program I created opening more doors for youth entrepreneurship, setting a standard for similar programs, and ultimately, leading the way, pushing forward for a better society. Thank you.
Now we're on. Okay, thank you, Luke. I've got a couple of questions, and I'm sorry if I missed any of these pieces, but how did you work with students? Did they come in with their own business ideas, or did you help them decide on those? What did that process look like?
It was a little bit of both. Some participants were like, they were really passionate. They're like, I want to bake crochet items, or not baking crochet items. I want to bake goods, make crochet items. And some were like, I have all these hobbies and I want to build them into an enterprise and hopefully pursue entrepreneurship in the future. So they would attend the educational meetings and then later decide on kind of what they were going to sell over the summer.
Awesome. And then how did input costs work? Did they pay for those, or did the incubator pay for that? What did that look like?
So the program was entirely free for participants to join. They didn't have to pay anything. It was, most of the money came from like myself, and then the first $1,500 from the scholarship will help pay to that back. But then the 20% of the summer sales that went to CIYBI, the stand costs had already been paid, those worked to refund that. And they didn't quite get made back this year. So that's one of the reasons why we're looking for like corporate sponsorships in the future as we learn and hopefully improve in the future.
Gotcha. So CIYBI would pay for, like, say the earrings, like the different components of that?
Oh,
Or like
for
how
the
did that work?
products, the
Yeah, the
participants
products.
provided their own products.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Who inspired you to do this is my first question. The second one, who's your mentor?
I had I think it was more of an intrinsic motivation for this project. I just saw the limited resources that were available as I initially started looking into creating a business, and thought that perhaps my business could be the way for other youth entrepreneurs to start their own businesses. And then as mentors, I did most of the research on my own. Of course, I asked for like the Secretary of State and Bennett Jerks when they came. I applied the lessons that they told the participants also to progress CIYBI. And some of my teachers, I would ask them for ideas, and a number of them turned out to be some of our best customers, so that was also good.
You see this growing out of a lot of things that you talked about were in the farmers market area. Do you see it growing into other businesses in the future?
I see, well, each participant will go their separate ways with their own businesses. And I know some of them were looking at having their own like farmers market stands in future years. And then I do see the program is easily replicable using my program plan, and I published that. So my dream is for there to be satellite programs in other regions and other states even.
Excellent, thank you.
Hi, I might have missed it, you might have said this, but I see that you have a sustainability plan for keeping this going forward, but what are your future plans? What do you plan to do in the future?
I intend to, I don't know where I'm going to go to college yet, but I intend to enter the field of intelligence, national security, and foreign affairs. So not necessarily directly related to business. Someday I do hope to start some of those other businesses on my business list. But yeah,